What's up, guys? I hope everyone's doing good. Welcome back to my channel. If you're a subscriber, if you just stumbled upon this channel, welcome to the channel. I posted a lot of content back at the end of 2021. That was basically the peak of my trading. I was making a decent amount of money. I was finding some consistency. And I felt like the market conditions were very primed. I felt like a lot of people were making money. People made a lot of money in 2020 and 2021. And if you've been following the stock market, you know that 2022 was not a great year for a lot of people. My 2022 was not much different, but on the contrary, from 2020 to 2021, when I was very consistent and I showed up every single day, 2022 was not the same. I didn't show up every single day. I basically didn't do any review. I was trying out multiple different strategies, different new styles of trading, and I was just trying to figure out what my trading journey entailed going forward. And I never really found that, but towards the end of this year, I developed a new playbook. I developed a new strategy of how I was going to be trading, similar to what I was doing in 2021. So what I want to use this channel for is more for documentation purposes. What my plan going forward is for this YouTube channel is to post one video a week, either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And it's just going to be a recap of my whole trading week. So I'm going to show every single trade that I took. I'll show maybe some playbook trades that I either took or didn't take. I'll give you maybe my insights, what I'm seeing from the market, how I'm trading, how I'm feeling. All right, so to go over the trades that I took from this week, obviously the market was closed on Monday. Tuesday I didn't take any trades, even though I was ready at my desk. I just hesitated on the few setups that I liked. Wednesday I took 2 trades. Thursday I took 1 trade, and Friday I took 1 trade. So on Wednesday, both the trades that I took were on Microsoft, and going into the day, Microsoft had news that it was getting close to its first workers union, which obviously is not great news for the company. And on top of that, UBS downgraded the stock from $300 price target all the way down to a $250 price target. And there was a very good technical setup, but I will get into that at the end of this video because I thought that this opening drive play on Microsoft was the best trade from the week, and I'll show you why towards the end of the video. But just know that I took it on 2 contracts. It was an opening drive play. I sold early. I didn't wait for my profit target, and I wasn't clear about scaling, which is actually a big issue that I have going into trades. I realize that I get good entries, I have the right trade idea, but if I'm not very clear about how I want to be scaling out, where I want to be waiting for a profit target, usually those trades don't go well, and I'm frustrated with myself afterwards. So it's a big mistake that I make that I'm working on improving, which is waiting for either my profit target, my stop loss, or just being very clear about how I want to scale going into a trade, because that's very crucial. You need to know what your plan is for the trade while you're in it, because you can prep for a trade, you can take the trade, you can be fine afterwards reviewing the trade, but the actual emotions and how you're feeling during the trade are a completely different animal. So you have to be willing to try to conquer that and be at a level, clear headspace while you're in the trade and know what you're doing. So that was my first trade back. And then I also took a small size continuation sell-off. And I'm really small size this week. I'm going to pick up my size going forward, but this was my first week back, and Wednesday was my first day of actually taking any trades. So I was very small size, just trying to get my footing back. I lost $18. I only took 1 contract. After we had sold off, I was looking for a pullback. I got it, and then I stopped out, even though we did continue down on Microsoft all the way down to a low of 226. On Thursday, I took 1 trade on QQQ. This was a flat trade, a trade that I was pretty happy with, continuation sell-off. I did sell early, and again, I wasn't clear about my scaling. This was a technical setup. I'll go over this on Thinkorswim when I show you the Microsoft trade, because I thought that this was actually a really good setup on the day. Even though it didn't pan out, we didn't get below 260, but I'll show you real quick towards the end of this video why I took this trade, what I was looking for, and why I thought it was a good setup. And lastly, I want to go over my trade from Friday. So I took Tesla on 4 contracts. Tesla had over 5 downgrades. Maybe it was even 8 downgrades during the week leading up to Friday. So obviously not good sentiment around Tesla. On top of that, we got bad delivery numbers from China-made EV vehicles, which was down about 44% for December 2022 compared to the month prior, November. And then on top of that, Tesla came out Friday morning saying that they were slashing prices on their, I think, Model 3 and maybe a few other vehicles for China, Japan, and South Korea. So I was looking for the downside on this, and we actually ended up ripping the whole day. The whole market did, but we had gapped down pretty significantly. But I want to be in this trade in case we got a break below 100, that really key level. And I saw a pretty good technical setup on this. I did miss a playbook trade off open, which was we gap below the pivot low, which was, I think, 104.64. And 104.5 is right here. So the 931, 932, 934, and 935 candles all had wicks just at the pivot low, which was 104.6. And on that retest, which is a gap below and then retest of the pivot, was a great entry. So right around this spot right here. And we saw a continuation all the way down to 102. I wasn't in that play, but once that we saw the move down, I want to get in on a retest of this 102.5, 103 area. So those are my 4 trades from the day, or from the week. Not great trading in any sense, not bad trading in any sense, just really getting my footing back. All right, so to go over real quick the way that I am playbooking, Mike Bellafiori's book, The Playbook, which I highly recommend to read. Mike Bellafiori is the founder of SMB Capital, which is one of the best prop trading firms in the world. And what he says in the playbook, and this is just the way that the guys at SMB, and maybe this has changed, maybe they're doing it differently now, but this is what I saw in the book, and the way that I'm playbooking going forwards is I write my trade strategy, and I do notes on that. I do big picture, intraday fundamentals, technical analysis, tape read, trade management, improvement, and then trade rating. So I basically just have those as the headings. That is 8 headings. And I fill in whatever I want to fill in. You know, everyone trades differently. Everyone has different things that work for them, different ways that their mind works. So I have it very catered to myself. And I advise that you guys, if you are looking for a new way of playbooking your trades, of reviewing your trades, you can do that format, but then just do it the way that makes the most sense to you, you know. Don't write in someone else's lingo and someone else's words. Do it so that it makes sense to you, so that you have a playbook for yourself. So what I'll do, and this is what he advised in the book, is every single day I will pick the best trade that I see on the day, and I'll playbook that trade in a PDF format. It's anywhere from 3 to 4 pages. I give a couple of screenshots and then just a full breakdown of all I'm seeing, and I'll write that in all the different categories. So on Wednesday, my playbook trade of the day was the opening drive Microsoft. Right here we have a gap fill from 233.87 all the way down to 228.63, so about 5 points, a little bit more. We had bad news on Microsoft. We were gapping down significantly. The market actually gapped up about 1.5 points on SPY while Microsoft had gapped down. So seeing that relative weakness on Microsoft gives me reason to look for downside plays. Plus, we were opening in the gap fill. So to see a completion of the gap fill was plenty possible. Pre-market low was 231.9. We were weak all of pre-market. Pre-market resistance was 234 and 235 showed to be resistance. And I got a tape read on this where when we opened, we were struggling to hold 232.2 on the bid. So that's what I was looking to break for an entry. And we actually had a really good entry. That's the entry that I took. And then we continued down, broke below 230, retested, actually got above 230, retested 231, and sold off and completed the gap fill by 9:45. So we completed about from that 232 entry all the way down to 228.6 is about 3.5 points, and we continued down all the way to 226 by 10:11, which is only 40 minutes into open. So these contracts were well over 100, 200%. And this was basically a playbook trade in my opinion because all the factors were aligning, and that's what you're looking for when you're trading. It was a really good technical setup. On top of it, we had the bad news and we had the downgrade from UBS. So that's really what I'm looking for. Not much more to this trade. Very simple setup. Actually pretty similar to how I was trading in 2021. But instead of an opening drive to the upside, it was an opening drive to the downside. All right, and lastly, I want to go over the QQQ trade that I took that I thought was a really good setup technically. So this 260 level, let me zoom out a little bit, is basically what's been support, even tracing back all the way to 2020. This was a level. And the pivot low is this 254.76, I think it is, 254.26 level, but we gapped down this day, and this day was the day that SPY bottomed out at 348, and then we pushed up all day. But this 260 major level is the level that QQQ has been holding as support. And going into the day, this was Thursday, we had 4 straight days where 263, 262.5 was acting as support. So what I wanted to see is I wanted to see us break below 262.5, maybe 262, and then get a retest. And on that retest, I would look for an entry. For a play down to 260, I would have secured profits at 260. And then if we managed to break below 260, there's no, like, who knows how low this could have went. Maybe this could have went down to that 254 spot. But either way, I felt like a retest of this 262, 262.5 zone was a really good entry, and then I see how far the play takes me. We sold off, got to a low of day at around 261.5, and there was no real clear plays here. This 935 entry on the retest of 263, which had acted as a zone, was a potential entry, but we didn't get the continuation sell-off, the actual real selling pressure that we wanted to see. So this isn't a playbook trade, but it's to show what I'm seeing going into the day, because I thought that I had a really good plan on this. Alright, so I hope that this gives you a little bit of an insight of what this channel will be going forward. I know that this video wasn't the best video. I'm still getting back into making YouTube videos. This is the first video I've made in like a year. So it's a little bit hard. I feel a little bit foreign talking in front of a camera, talking to the computer. But these videos will get better. I will be providing a lot more information that will be beneficial to you guys, I hope, from a trading sense. But just give me a little bit of a break, a little bit of a leeway for these first couple of videos. Let me get back into the swing of things. If you guys have any suggestions, have any comments, anything that you're curious about, let me know down in the comments. I'll respond to whatever you guys are thinking about. If you're just here, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, I hope you're going to come back for next week's video, see how I did. I really appreciate it. I promise that I will be consistent on this channel. I made a promise to myself, not only a promise to anyone who's watching this video, anyone who enjoys my videos, but more so a promise to myself to stay consistent and to stay documenting my journey. And with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next week.